Hello, everybody. It's right on the dot 3:30, Wednesday, I believe. I was talking to somebody the other day that it's kind of hard to figure out what day of the week it is because time kind of doesn't mean anything anymore because we're measuring, I guess, time differently, or because we don't have as much stuff to do, so all of a sudden the days don't mean as much as they used to mean, and time seems to be moving a little bit differently than it used to before. But it is Wednesday, I'm pretty sure of it. I'm not on my back porch, I'm actually out in my backyard. I went onto my backyard because the animals, the dog and the cats, I didn't know how they'd behave because they're all out of sorts. I actually went into the church office for a little while today, and so the dog got locked up in my home office, and so he's been a little bit wild, so I didn't think there he is right there. So I didn't know how he'd behave, if he'd knock the camera over or anything, so I went all the way outside, and it is quite a beautiful day out today. It is absolutely beautiful out here. There's a lot of people outside in my neighborhood, a lot more than are ever out in my neighborhood. I don't live in the villages. I live over by Lake Weir, and I'd say I live in a neighborhood where a lot of people work, and so usually nobody's home around where I live, and then when people get home in the evenings, they just kind of go inside their houses, and we never hardly see each other. But I've seen more people outside in my neighborhood, and more people out taking walks, and kids riding bikes and all sorts of things, so it's been kind of neat. But that's not what I want to talk about today. What I want to talk about today is I want to talk about kind of how I've been feeling, and about, I found this bucket in the back of my car, and it's, if you went to the ladies retreat, you know what this bucket is from. But I found myself, I think it was on Monday, a little bit depressed. I was a little bit depressed, and I was depressed. The dog is really not behaving. I was depressed because of Sunday, and when we started staying at home and recording the services, we made this big joke about how wonderful Sundays were going to be, and how much fun it was going to be to stay at home on Sundays. But I'm kind of not excited about staying home at Sundays at all, and they drag by, and it's just not what I'm supposed to be doing on Sundays. So on Monday, I found myself very kind of depressed, and I was laying on my ottoman in my office, kind of staring up at the ceiling. I'm thinking to myself, why am I depressed? Because I'm doing all the things I'm supposed to do, and that's where my bucket comes in. Because and I don't remember where I heard this, and I've talked to you guys about this before, about LD, stop it. I've talked to you guys about this before, about filling your bucket, and I'm doing all the right things to keep the bucket full. And the idea is that you have to fill your bucket up with all kinds of things to keep your mental well-being good. And so I've been doing all the things to keep my bucket filled. I've been talking to people on the phone. I've been going outside and going for walks, and I've been doing all of the positive things. I've been reading my Bible more, and I've also been taking my advice that when you see, these are the holes that I drilled in the buckets at the women's retreat, because I talked about when bad things happen, that we get holes in our bucket, and when things start to fall out of the bucket, we have to fill our buckets faster with things. And so I've even been putting more things in my bucket. So I've been trying to do more positive things. I love to bake, so I've been baking, and so I've been putting my things in the bucket even faster to keep it filled up. And I'm still like getting blah, and I'm still being depressed. So I'm like, if I'm doing all the things and I'm keeping my bucket I think, filled up. Why am I still feeling this way? It could be because I have a dog that won't behave. LD, stop it. You're embarrassing me on Facebook. Okay, anyways. And then I thought, maybe I'm looking at it the wrong way. I do still need to keep on putting the good things in the bucket, because that's the stuff. So I need to keep on reading my Bible, doing my daily devotion, connecting with my friends, connecting with God, baking, which I love, going for runs. I need to keep on doing all those things, but there's lots and lots of things right now that are putting holes in the bucket. Lots of things right now that are putting holes in the bucket. And so maybe I need to concentrate more on keeping those things from putting holes in the bucket, because I haven't stopped watching the news. Why haven't I stopped watching the news? Because every time I binge on the news, I'm letting more holes get put into my bucket. And the more holes I let get put in the bucket, the faster the good stuff that I've worked so hard to put into the bucket, the faster that good stuff is coming out of my bucket. And I'm spending entirely way too much time scrolling through my Facebook feed, which I really want to encourage you guys to be on Facebook, because we're doing a lot of good church stuff on Facebook right now. But I'm scrolling through my Facebook feed and reading a lot of negative comments about things and getting myself all worked up into conversation and fights that I really don't need to be a part of. And every time I do that, I'm putting more holes in this bucket that I don't need to have in this bucket. I've already got enough things right now putting holes in this bucket. I don't need to go out and find more things to put holes in this bucket right now. And so I'm kind of going to switch my way of thinking for the rest of the week. I am going to concentrate on keeping on putting good things in, because there's plenty of things putting holes in this bucket. So I'm going to keep on putting the good things in. And we got to put lots of good things in right now, because there are lots of holes in our buckets. But I'm also going to really try to not on purpose go out and find more holes to put in my bucket, because the world is already putting holes in the bucket on its own. And I need to not be there also helping to put holes in my bucket. The world's going to put holes in there without my help. And so I'm going to try this week not to put holes in the bucket on my own. And if I can, so you can see there's a Band-Aid. I put a Band-Aid over one of the holes. So if I can, I'm gonna try to bandage up some of these holes, because right now we really need to be focusing on making sure that we're well. And like I said, I was kind of depressed earlier this week, and if you're depressed, which I think, it's okay, because it kind of stinks right now. Things aren't normal, and it's been, I don't even know, like 1,000 years that we've been on quarantine and not been able to live our lives like normal, and we don't know when it's going to end. And so it's okay to feel, out of sorts every once in a while. And so it's okay to feel that way. But if you do feel that way, I encourage you to reach out to a friend, to reach out to family, to make sure that you have that support system around you to help you kind of out of that area, because the last place you want to kind of do is rest in that area. You don't want to let that keep on putting the holes in your bucket. So concentrate on this week on putting the good stuff in your bucket. Don't help the world put more holes in your bucket, because we already have the world putting enough holes in our buckets for us. So work on those habits to not add holes to the bucket. That's all I have. LD was kind of embarrassing earlier in this talk. He kind of calmed down a little bit. I'm sorry for his behavior. He can be a little bit unruly. Thank you for tuning in. Let's see what else we have. Tomorrow is Thursday. Again, the days just don't seem to make sense very much right now. So tomorrow is Thursday, so it's the Lanai Chat. If you've never come to the Lanai Chat, I encourage you to do it. It's a little outside of everybody's comfort zones. I know, not everybody's comfort zones, but some people's comfort zones, because it involves, you doing a Zoom chat. But it's a lot of fun, and you get to see other people's faces. So if you haven't been out recently, and if you haven't been able to see a lot of other people's faces, it might be something that you want to check out tomorrow. The meeting invite and everything was in Pastor Jim's email, and if you didn't get that, you can email Marilyn M. Booth at ncumcfl.com, and she will get you the information so you can tune into that at 9:30. We would love to see you there and to chat with you at the Lanai Chat. And then, as always, David is going to do some music on Friday at 1 o'clock to pick us all up a little bit. And so that's a wonderful thing to fill your bucket. And then, of course, worship. This weekend, it's going to be fantastic. You do not want to miss it. Saturday, 5 o'clock on Facebook or YouTube. And we apologize for those of you on Saturday who were trying to tune in on YouTube. We had a little technical difficulty. I think we got that straightened out, so we'll be live on both Facebook and YouTube on Saturday. And then, of course, on Sunday, 9:30 on Facebook and YouTube. And then 11 o'clock just on Facebook. And then we'll start everything all over again the next week, and I think that's all I have. Oh, hey, if you haven't sent me a video of you saying Psalm 91, I would love to get that from you. All you have to do is email it, video yourself and email it to me. I would love to put you up on Facebook. I would love to have you be part of that. And the other thing, if you have a recipe, we'd love to see that. Can we get to Zoom off of the website? I don't think the link is on the website, but I can put it here on Facebook in the comments. So as soon as I get off this live chat, I'll put the link to the Zoom chat into the comments here. So just come back to the comments in this video, and I'll put the link in there. So if any of you who are right on here right now for the Zoom chat. All right, that's all I got. I'm going to pray, and then I'll see y'all online. Gracious God, I just thank you so much for this day, this beautiful day, this opportunity for us to gather together on Wednesday afternoon for a little check-in. God, I ask that you would help us all to think of ways to fill our buckets. And God, I would ask that you would help us also to remember not to put holes in our bucket, to keep us from doing those things that put holes in our bucket. So remind us, God, not to do that. Be with us the rest of this day. Lord, walk with us, talk with us. In your name we pray, amen. I will see you guys next time. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And again, I'll put the link to the Zoom chat for tomorrow in the comments as soon as I sign off. See y'all later. Bye-bye.